Good evening and happy Sunday to everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Gray Area here on the Black Man Unfiltered Network, simulcasting with my partner, as always, the Ghost of Sparta, a.k.a. Uh-oh.
Having a difficulty here. Hang on a second. Figure out what's going on
here. We got to have the intro.
Yeah, something's going on my stream deck. Give me a second.
Okay, well, again, simulcasting on the Sparta HQ Network. Certainly, we appreciate it as you come in tonight. Hit the like button as you come in. Helps the algorithm, both not only on the BMU channel, but just hop on over to Sparta HQ. Give them some love over there as well. That certainly would help them out. So, the Sparta HQ Network, a.k.a. the Ghost of Sparta, a.k.a. Peter, a.k.a. Paniotis. Yasso, my brother, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How are you tonight?
I'm a little bit better. Hope everyone got that extra hour of sleep. I know I needed it last night or early morning. I was up, certainly preparing for Sunday. So that extra hour certainly came in handy, and so I took full advantage of it. So, but now now it's officially wintertime, so them days get dark about 4:30 or whatever, and so I'm coming home at night and all that. So it's just a depressing time. So even when I go on vacation next month, the thing is going to be, it's like, yeah, we're going to be in paradise, but it still gets dark at 4 o'clock. So
we talked about this. You haven't.
No. I'm sorry.
The paper has not been officialized.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the approval process is. So you can't even do your Super Mario failure on me. So you can't even do that either. Shout out to Kateli, who's in the chat tonight. Shout out to my man. That's what matters. Shout out to my man Eric, who came into the space tonight, and good to have you guys with us on this on this Sunday. And so again, interesting topic. I know Pete's been looking to talk about this for a long time, but before I begin, first of all, I will start with giving a shout out to the bold and the beautiful, the beneficent, benevolent Ball Brotherhood of the BNU Network. Certainly, your president. Certainly salutes you this evening, and yes, we're going into elections on Tuesday and whatnot, so I hope once again to be renamed the president once again of the network. So happy to represent the follically free and those who take on this lifestyle. And so again, I'm looking for a very engaging discussion tonight with my man Peter, who wants to talk about the beards tonight. So again, Mariana, good evening, and nice dog, cute dog also. Certainly, Brother Derek, good that you joined us this evening as well. Good to have you on. And certainly looking forward to a conversation. And so I'm sure Pete is going to land some points on his end, and I'll retort. But again, looking to a conversation on beards, on facial hair, and again certainly for the ladies in the chat, I'd be very interested as the show goes on. In fact, I wish we could raise a poll. Gonna have to see about how we can get that done. But I like a poll on ladies when it comes to a man's facial hair. Yes, no, do you like the full beard? Do you like the stubbly look? Do you like the clean shaven? What is your preference when it comes to men's facial hair? What do you think is sexy on a man? And I would just be interested in getting that. And shout out to BMU as well for again the title. If you saw the title slide, he decided to donate his beautiful beard. Certainly to the show, and so we're going to be talking about again the imagery of certainly with beards, and I see certainly a lot more people. I certainly recognize the trend that beards are certainly becoming more widely accepted for all races of men, black men in particular. I'm seeing a lot more men who are getting beards, and so again, definitely looking forward to talking about that as well. But Pete, this was your baby. This is something that you wanted to get into. So since you are the expert, certainly go and check out some of Peter's earlier content where he used to be the Grooming and Reviews channel. And so again, he reviewed a lot of different beard care products and whatnot. He knows what he's doing when it comes to this stuff. So again, if you need some information on some good products to use for your beards and whatnot, I'm sure he'll talk about that during the show. But certainly just go back to the Sparta HQ Network and look at some content where he talks about some of the products he's recommended in proper beard care. Certainly, like I said, I don't live in hate of my bearded brothers. I just choose another lifestyle. But that being said, Peter, the floor is yours. You can take this in the direction you want to.
All right, let's go back a little bit. All right, let's go back to when I started growing facial hair. Facial hair was always something that always fascinated me. But like most men, I had no fucking idea what I was doing to grow my beard out. I'll be honest with you. I had no idea. The only thing I knew is just take the shaver, throw it behind your back, and that's it. So I always got to the point like, oh, man, I just had it was itchiness or scratchiness. I couldn't take it. I always shaved and start over. So I had a small beard, maybe not even a half an inch, maybe like a stubble beard, I call it, like kind of thing. And you saw pictures of me in the past doing that stuff. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of men do rock that. But one thing I learned with my beard journey, I got it from Dan C, and I got to give him credit. Again, if guys need if I don't know the answer, I go to Dan C. Dan C Beard. He's the voodoo goddess of beards. I mean, everything I learned, I got to give that guy credit. He's the number one beard YouTuber out right now. I am not even joking on that. Anyway, when I first started growing my beard, I discovered Dan C actually. Meaning grow my beard as actually, let me go even further, a little more back actually. When I started doing a little more research personally, I like, okay, I found beard oil, but the beard oil I found was from a company called Art of Shaving. Their shaving products are extremely well.
I used their shave cream. It's very good.
Yeah, and their oils, the PreShave Oil is one of the best. If you go to like a high-end barber, yes, you're going to use that. That's what they have. But they're not known for beard oils. Beard oils, you want all natural stuff. And I'm going to get into the ingredients later on in the show. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. So when my mom got this diagnosed cancer, I started growing my hair. I was like, you know what? I'm going through the whole Viking Greek god look. I'm going through it. I'm going to do it. So I did it. And obviously you see like the picture over what Paul is at actually on that side. You see me, it was like a year into it at a time. So when I start growing it, I'm like, I need some more research. I'm like, I never thought about it. Like, let me Google this. Maybe something comes up. And I blew my mind when I found Dan C. He had over 1,000 videos on beard oils, beard balm, beard butter, wash, conditioner, combs, brushes, heat treats. I'm like, you have to do all this shit? I was like pretty much my sound effect just told you what I meant. So, and the same question I'm gonna repeat the question. As a woman out there, I want to hear from all the women. Do you like a short beard, long beard, medium beard, or what kind of beard you guys are into? I'm just curious. I want to see it because everybody has their own taste to it. So I personally believe, and I'm gonna be a little biased here, a real man can be only a real man if he hasn't facial hair. No offense, Paul. I gotta say it. But studies
no problem. I'm bulletproof, bro. I've been through the war, so we're good. Don't say what you got to say or whatever. I won't love you any less.
So hang on a second, man. There's proven studies out there. A man who's looking to get married, the guy who has a longer beard has more patience, more chance to be a good husband and a good father. It's been proven studies. Again, I'm going to use Dan C as my reference for today because he has like a god beard or Kronos. Those beards, the long beards, are known for being marry husband material. Did I say that right? Let's go with it.
We get the idea.
Yeah. So that's where I started my YouTube career with beards. So the first product I'm going to show, this is actually, I'm excited to have this back in my hands. I'm holding it for a reason like this, Paul. This started my career as a YouTuber. This is a seasonal scent. This Skull. Skull is literally one of the best scents in my opinion. It comes out once every 3 years. This to me is like fucking gold. The scent. Wow. The oil comes out all year round. Like, if you don't know what kind of oil you're putting in your beard, that's the thing. That's why I want to show this first. Oil. Do you know what kind of oil to put in your beard?
Well, I don't have a beard, so I don't. But I do use a PreShave oil. I use Bevel as a PreShave oil, and oftentimes it depends on my schedule. If I'm in a hurry, right? So I'm running late for something. If I need a quick shave, I will use a shave oil. And because I don't have to reapply it. Usually I go through my process in the morning. So again, I'll use either Art of Shaving or I'll use this, I forget the name of the brand. It's an Italian company brand that I use. So Bariso, I think is the name of it. So again, I have my cup and I have my brush and I work up the lather and whatnot. And then I'll, I put my pre-shave on first, and I put I lather up and everything, and then I have it, and then I go through my passes. So I do 3 shave passes. So I do the first, then re-lather, second, cross, and then third, reverse strokes and whatnot. But if I'm in a hurry, like I got less than 5 minutes to literally be out, then I'll use a shave oil, and with that shave oil, it's slick enough where I only need to apply it once. And it's enough to get me through all 3 passes of my shave, and then I'm out. So that's mostly what I use. Then I use a toner. I use some alpha hydroxy acids on my face, and then I use a moisturizer and whatnot. Yeah, so I'm very metrosexual when it comes to my skincare. So sunscreen and all that. So I go through sort of like that 5 steps of skincare every morning. Especially if I'm going to work or out in the town or whatever. So yes, but I keep it clean shaven, pretty much all year round. I don't have a time where I take time off to kind of grow a beard. One, I can't, and because again, I got a lot of blotches, and if I go more than 2 days without it, then I start getting because my hair is curly, so I start getting these ingrowns, and I have to go in oftentimes with a straight pin to pick them out. So for me, it's about saying I've used those brushes. It doesn't work for me. Because
doing it, you gotta keep doing it 2-3 times.
It doesn't. So what I do is, but again, keeping clean shaven daily, I seldom have those issues. But again, if I let a day or two go before it, then oftentimes I gotta pluck those hairs out because they went. Some of them they don't even come out and then curl in. Some of them they just go straight down and start to curl in. Mm-hmm. So I will pick those out. With the I'll put some alcohol in a straight pen or whatever, and just kind of pick them out because again I don't have a ton of hairs. I might do like 10 on one side and maybe 15 on another or something like that just to get those out, and then I'm fine after that. But certainly shaving daily helps me. I don't get the razor bumps like I used to, and I went through all kinds of things. I used to use the cream, the pillator cream on the face and whatnot. I went through a lot of things, not necessarily knowing what I was doing necessarily. But once I got good at again that maintenance, again had a lot of good results, a lot of positive results in my skin after that. So I had to go through certainly a process also of learning how to properly care and how to shave properly. Because another change that I made, and we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. I initially started out using the sort of, if not the disposable razor, but the ones with this disposable, so that the Gillettes, the 3-blade, the 4-blade, they came with a 5-blade, there was a 7-blade and whatnot. And about 6 years ago, I stopped using that. I went old school, and I got a dual edge safety razor, and I used that for about. And I used that for about 6 years. So just like your grandfather used to use the thing, you swing on the bottom, it opens up, and you put, yeah.
I was actually going to talk about this in a second, actually. So let's talk about base really fast before we get really deep into the conversation. Mm-hmm. So guys out there, and women actually, when you shave, you're exposing your skin to the elements. All right. I'm not saying don't shave. I'm not saying that. If that's what you're comfortable with, do what's comfortable for you. Mm. And please, women, I hope you do shave. It's kind of weird finding a woman with like every bit. But anyway, when it comes,
we'll agree there. We'll agree there. Yeah.
Finally, here. Let me give you here.
Yes.
I got it working.
Absolutely.
Hey, I got to make up for one.
This is Sparta.
There you go.
All right. But anyway, when it comes to shaving, don't use disposable ones. Get rid of those fucking things. They have the gel on the disposables. It has a chemical. I just don't remember what the name of the chemical is. It's not biotin, something else. It makes your hair grow faster and thicker, so you can go through your razors. Not naturally, but when you stop using those things, it doesn't come in as thick anymore. It's not as thick like a good beard thickness. It's thickness just to destroy the razor, pretty much. That's what it is. To make Gillette more goddamn fucking money end of the day.
Yeah.
So
And it got yeah. Go ahead.
Go first.
And for me, it also got expensive. So one of the reasons why I went to the Dual safety razor, I mean, you get like a 4-pack of Gillette, like either the Mach 3 or the Mach 5, 4 or 5, whatever I was using at the time. It'd be like $27, $28 for like a 4-pack.
I remember like 30, 40, maybe $50 sometimes.
Yeah. So when I went to the Dual safety razor, I got some those platinum blades, and I get like 100 blades for like $10 off of Amazon, and it lasts me the whole year. So I mean it was a drastic reduction in cost. And again, once I got good at handling, now again, I tried a couple of the safety razors. Some were better than others. When I found one that really worked for me, I had few cuts. I may get a neck every once in a while because of the ingrowns, it would form something. But generally speaking, I had very few cuts from that. And and I saved a ton of money. In fact, I posted on my Facebook page. I had a hole about this thick full of safety razors that, because you replace it like every few days or whatever, you replace it. I had this thick for a year's supply. And again, you're talking $10 for that 100
You're gonna laugh
so
at it.
yeah.
If I tell you the last time I bought razors, you're gonna probably fall off your screen right now.
No, well, look, I mean, basically
I bought 1,000 for $30. It was like 8 years ago. Because I don't go through them like that.
Right.
So with the shaver thing, I'll back you up. Use the safety razor when I do shave, and we all saw that nastiness last time I shaved.
Yeah,
we don't want to see that again. Trust me, you don't want to see that. This is the good side. When I shave, this is not pretty. This is gonna scare kids coming down the street. You don't need to shake your head, boy.
I'm trying to give you support, and you didn't know me. So okay.
Hey, with me non-shaved, it's the ugliest thing you ever seen in your world. But when I do shave, I do use other shaver stuff. The reason, because my acne, I have really bad acne when I shave. That's the reason why I really don't like shaving, to be honest with you guys.
Right.
That's one reason. I look better with a beard on. Or sometimes a facial hair. So I use the auto shave. I use the whole 3 steps, Paul. I use the pre-oil, the ladder, or what's called they call it shaving soap. And then I finish up their aftershave. Key trick. I don't know if you do it, Paul. I soak my brush and my razor in hot water. It makes the shave so much better. I don't know if you ever done that. I'm serious. I learned from the master barber, dude.
I'm reading his comment. He said, "Real men use box cutters. None of these says." He's trolling, but I'm just saying. Box cutters.
He's trolling. My boy's trolling. Oh shit.
Why?
That got me. I wasn't expecting that way.
No.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Ask your question again. I'm sorry. I got distracted.
If you soak your brush before you start lathering, do you use
So usually my routine is I wash my face first. Then I put the water on hot. I dip my brush in the hot water, and then I shower. So what that also does is, again, with the steam and everything, again, it helps to soften the beard. It opens the pores as well as soften the beard. So then I come out. Then I put my shave oil on. Then I mix up my lather and whatnot. Now I've used shave soaps. I've used the Pucks. And I've used, again, the Parasso is the Italian brand, so I'll use that, or I'll use, like I said, King of Shaves. And the cool thing about it, I mean, you don't need that much. I mean, you're talking about a little less about that much squeezing out the bottle or whatever, and it whips up plenty of lather.
Oh yeah, same thing. I got so much left.
So I got so much left over at the end. So I've used less over time. But
that lasts for a long time too, because if you don't use, like me, I don't really shave. I shave once a year if I'm lucky. Last time I shaved before over the summer I shaved once. Before that was 3 years ago before I shaved. So
Right.
I don't really put razors on my face like that because it really irritates my skin and it breaks out really bad.
Right.
So like I said, my routine similar to yours. I usually shower first. That's how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my brush soak and my blade soak in already. You know, the first stage in hot water. I put the oil, I lather up, and I go downtown. I go over a second round or whatever I missed. I get it, and then I wipe down, and then I use my aftershave and call it a day. Now, the thing when I start shaving and start growing my beard, the difference I do, I eliminate the whole shaving part. You know, once you start shaving, the first thing, the next day, literally the next day, you start with oil. Beard oil is so important. The only thing you're going to hear me bitch over and over tonight is the fine goddamn fucking print. These companies will never listen to any of us, the fine print. But the basic stuff is, if you want, there's not like, the best way I can explain, pharmacy oils, they call them in the field. Those have a lot of silicone. It's only one, maybe two brands I can recommend off of that. Like Honest Amish kind of stinks a little bit, to be honest with you. The smell doesn't bother me personally, but I know a lot of people don't like the smell of that. And trying to think another one. Pitbull is another one. Those are the two companies, and you've probably seen Pitbull around. They're all natural out of Europe. Again, it's some of the oils you want is, I'm trying to see the front goddamn fucking print. Yeah, I
was going to ask you now, what kind of oils are we talking about? Because I know you got like tea tree oil and just different. So what kind of oils are good or natural oils then?
Jojoba is one of them, has to be in there.
Jojoba, okay.
Yeah. Higher. Okay, for say the first ingredient, if you say jojoba, it means is the highest on the count. You got jojoba, sesame. So hang on a second. I'll tell you right now because I got to magnify the damn thing because I can't barely see it. 1 second, guys. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard of jojoba oil. Tea tree, I've also heard of people using. So yeah, I mean, the type of oil that
is jojoba, canola oil,
tea tree. That's probably tea tree.
I'm sorry, jojoba. I apologize. Jojoba, I said that already. That fragrance. And I'll do something even better. Because I will actually gonna get one of the websites up because they have it on their websites, all the ingredients. Live Beard is one of the companies I do recommend, and they're really good. And I have some other companies I'm gonna mention in a minute. I don't see that. I'm pretty sure they have their ingredients.
Okay. Well, this might be then a say while you're looking up that information, because I want to kind of go into, me, I'm always, if you give me some time, I always like to kind of go into my history a little bit and just talk about, because ultimately what we're going to be talking about tonight, I know we're kind of getting into the weeds in terms of our, grooming habits, but just in terms of shaving in general, from a gray area perspective, from a global perspective, from a historical perspective, this is something that has gone in cycles. It goes in trends based on cultures over time. So I want to kind of go through some of this here, and through some of this also, some of my reasons why I certainly prefer the shaved look and the shaved, lifestyle. So again, this isn't new, right? So again, if you got to go all the way back to the Egyptians, all right. So again, shaving was associated with status and wealth. In fact, with the Egyptians, both the men and the women not only shaved facial hair, they shaved everywhere. So they were shaving their legs, they were shaving their pubic hair, except for that beard that you would oftentimes see on the pharaoh that you see in the picture. So again, being smooth shaven. So we talk about the Deltans from Star Trek. The Egyptians were like the original Deltans because they certainly weren't fans of facial hair. So it kind of started with them. Then if you go in history, you have also Alexander the Great, which I know grooming you've certainly talked about in the past. You've studied him. So again, certainly from the Greek, within his reign in Greece, he set the status quo for clean shave shortly after shaving became law in some Greek cities. And from a martial arts perspective, so hand-to-hand combat. So he ordered his soldiers to shave. So he felt his men would be at a disadvantage if they didn't, because opposing forces could grab onto one's beard during combat. Now, I know you have some history and experience with this through your martial arts training where people grabbed your chest hair and kind of got yanked out or whatever. So look, it's you shared that on many occasions. So again, it's if you talk about during wartime, because I know the image of men with beards and whatnot, it has a very masculine image And that's part of, I think that's part of the appeal of beards in terms of the look that it gives you. But from Alexander's perspective, it was at a disadvantage, because if they can grab your beard or whatever, they can have you in a compromised position, especially you got one of them long ones. Not just a 2 day growth or whatever. So,
here. All right. Yeah. So with a combat purposes, even my length is too short to even pull. I know I'm doing like that, but in my length, you're not gonna be able to pull my beard. I'll be straight up with you. If you're gonna pull it, I'm gonna bite your goddamn fucking face off. Simple as that.
Right. Right.
Then I'm gonna piss on.
But even like I said, but you said you got your chest hair pulled, so your chest hair wasn't longer than your beard hair, and they still was able to pull it. Right?
It was a lot longer.
Your chest hair is longer than your beard right now. Wow.
Yes,
you are a bear. You are a bear. But that was certainly a reason that he gave. So again, so that goes back to ancient times. Julius Caesar. Okay, so again, from his perspective, says shaving has spiritual connections in Roman society. When boys went through puberty, their first few facial hairs would be removed and offered to the gods. So again, he also preferred the smooth, the smooth look. So again, this isn't also the Egyptians, the Greeks. I mean the Romans. You had these guys in history who set standards for shaving. Then in more modern times, the first straight edge razor. Okay, so Jacques Perret, I think I'm saying that correctly, 1762. So he designed the first modern day safety with sort of straight edge that you see in the barbershops. He was able to put that together. 1847, William Henson, he developed essentially the state safety razor that you see even being used today. And the one thing that I realized when I started getting into using a safety razor, that there's a lot of tradition with that. There's a lot of history with that. There's guys who I know who collect, just like people who collect lightsabers or stamps or comic books or whatever. You have collectors of old and ancient safety razors that are either they still use or they have as part of collections. But this was also something that started to have a trend where, again, if you had a son, you would teach your son how to shave. And oftentimes the first instrument that he would use would be a safety razor. And like I said, well over 6 years ago, I went back to a safety razor. And I've never really went back. I've never used any kind of double edge or triple or whatever those razors again. Yeah.
A lot of people I talk to, even younger men, a lot of people are ditching disposable and going to the safety razors now. The safety razor that is the new in now, because
it's like I said, what was old is now new again, and so a lot of what we're seeing, not only in shaving practices but also styles, it always goes through some changes. Again, you had another group, 1876, the Camphey brothers. Again, they did a redesign. So again, the idea that you can twist it out and replace the razor, so they had some improvements there. But the big thing that really changed everything, and for those who are interested, again, the history of shaving. This was an article published back in the you can find this article on online. But this really changed the game here. So King C. Gillette really changed the game in terms of disposable razors and making the idea of shaving through their marketing campaigns. They really started to promote the idea of the shaved look being the preferred look. All right. So again, prior to that, guys would generally walk around with either partially shaved or beards or what have you, but through their marketing campaigns, just like the beards with the diamonds, they started to sell an image of what a real man. So you talked about a real man not having a beard. Well, certainly one of the things that Gillette started to do, and his brothers, they started also promoting what a real man is supposed to look like. And so they revolutionized it. And one of the instruments that they used in order to revolutionize it was the military. So again, World War I, when the U.S. entered World War I in 1917, they struck a deal with the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army equipped every soldier with a safety razor kit. And so again, so that image of the fighting soldier, being shaved was also important. Another reason why it was important, we're going to talk about this later, is if you see in the picture, if you had to wear a mask, any kind of facial gas mask or what have you, it was required that you needed to be clean shaven in order to ensure a clean fit on your face. So that was another reason why soldiers were required to be clean shaven for that purpose of when you had to wear those gas masks and specialty masks. But again, soldiers set the image. So just like we talked about a couple weeks ago with the smoking show, the U.S. military promoted the idea of smoking in all those different areas. So smoking became cool. Smoking became masculine because of the U.S. military. Similarly, soldiers started shaving, and that started to set the standard in the country. Just here, a couple notes here. Again, my slides got messed up a little bit. The last bearded president that we had was the 23rd president, Benjamin Harrison. Okay, he was elected to office in 1888. The last president that we had with facial hair, okay, of any kind, whether it be a beard or a mustache, was William Howard Taft, and that's a correction. He was actually the 27th president. He came after Teddy Roosevelt. So he's the 27th, not the 23rd president. He was elected into office in 1908, and that was the last U.S. president that we ever saw since that had any kind of facial hair. And you never saw a president at any time not shaven, not with a 5 o'clock shadow. You never saw a president with a week's growth or whatever. The image of the president of the United States was changed from, the great Abraham Lincoln is probably the most popular and famous of all the U.S. presidents. And he clearly, wore his beard proudly, and that was the look, again, back in the day. But that look started to change, and again, a clean-shaven president became the norm and started to set the standard in society going forward. This here is an interesting thing that I found, just stat-wise. Again, I like to kind of see, again, different cultural perspectives on beards. So again, the areas in the blue are where beards are accepted, meaning it's normal for every man, to certainly to wear a beard. Certain countries, both the beard and the mustache, some basically the mustache only. And then in other areas, now again, you're going to have people with beards in all these areas, but I'm talking about as a cultural standard. And yes, I understand that beards are starting to grow now in popularity as far as, people, men are choosing and opting to go to grow their beards out. And the beard care, I think you would agree, Grooming, in the last 10, 15 years has definitely upped in terms of the products that are available and how they JD Vance may be trying to challenge.
Okay.
Absolutely. So he won't be the president though, but we'll see if he we'll see if he.
I do have a little pushback on the whole slide, but I want before I even
sure.
get pushback, I want to.
No, we can take a break here because that's kind of the first half. We're going to go into more modern conversations in the latter. So go ahead.
Base first with the products. The products didn't explode to about the last 3-4 years.
Oh, really? That late? I thought it was a lot sooner.
Like Liberty, for example, they're been out since 2016. They came out. The company established 2016. That's not a long time if you think about it. Like some of the big companies. So the grooming part of it has been going on since times itself. I explain what I mean by that. The first beards are obviously recorded of, before even, when we just caveman, for example, they had beards, but they just didn't let the beards grow even back then. They used to take leaves and stuff like that, grind it down into oil and put in their beards to like make it shine a little better because it was attracted to the women at the time, because that's how they showed their masculinity. I'm a man with a beard.
Mm-hmm.
So even back then, Greeks, Roman, Egyptians, obviously, you saw they had the fake beard thing strap on. That's what it was. He could be clean shave. I'm not pushing back on that part. They were clean shave, but they had a strap on with the beard part of it. They literally put it on. It was a little rope strap on. They never had a natural beard.
Correct. Yeah.
But the use of Vikings that are actually the most famous of beards, more than Greeks, believe it or not. Like that's why you see like Skull, a lot of companies named after beer, Viking.
Yeah, Viking. Yeah, in fact, the safety I had was a Viking's blade. That was the brand that I used for several years. So yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
Here's another company. Viking Evolution is very popular on Amazon. Not the greatest company, but a good starter kit. I'll recommend it for anybody who's first growing the first beard and want to actually put work into it. Not a bad beard. There's another company called Valhalla. Again, there are a lot of Viking themes because there were no Vikings. You take a lot of the different chemicals, leaves. And grind it down and turn it into that what we call beard oil now, and they rub it through their beards to shine it and groom it correctly. The grease too. Like if you look, use Greek that I know very well for. You had the Spartans. 99% chance they had a beard. All gods had beard. Zeus showed himself with a long hair and a big white power. Long beard is called power beard in this field. The power beard. So beards have been around long.
I agree. I agree about the Greeks. In fact, one of the reasons why, when I was researching this, one of the reasons why Alexander the Great mandated shaving, he wanted to actually distinguish his soldiers from Greeks. He recognized the prevalence of beards in, certainly in Greek men, and that was one of the ways you could distinguish between them. So again, I'm not saying that certainly Greeks, I don't know if they matter, I don't think they started the trend, because I think, certainly shaving's been around, like I said, globally for some time. I just wanted to call out those specific cultures like the Egyptians, like the Romans, who started to institute this. And even though you're right about even the Vikings and the Norse Norwegians, I think the image certainly with the United States in terms of what a fighting soldier looked like, I think a lot of that changed certainly with the U.S. military, and again, that promoting that clean image. And certainly I think Gillette was certainly one of the pioneers in promoting that image towards the end of the 19th century and into the 20th century. And that is when you started to see the promotion of, and not only did it affect military culture, but I think it also affected corporate culture, because again, a lot of those people, well, it's interesting because again, people say the same thing on the other side. In fact, because I used to do a little sales back in the day as well, so so we're going to talk about that as far as the trustworthiness of people, whether or not you have beards or not. So I'm agreeing with you, Grooming, as far as yes, certainly the Greeks and the Vikings and whatnot. Again, so that's the thing. This is from a global perspective. You've had cultures who've operated with beards, or with facial hair and without facial hair. And I don't think you would even, consider any of them, especially if you go to South America and the Aztecs and, those ancient, in the Western Hemisphere, the Native Americans. You don't see too many bearded Native Americans, or those Aztec warriors and whatnot from back in the day. They didn't have beards. So I don't know if having a beard or not having a beard necessarily makes you more masculine. But again, you're the one who ultimately determines that. And, if your masculinity is defined by whether or not you have a beard or not, those are things that, you have to resolve in your mind. But, there's cases that could be made sort of for and against in terms of these warrior groups and how they've gone about promoting the bearded versus the non-bearded look. In fact, there was another this Russian, I forget his name off the top of my head, Peter the Great. He actually, the Russian czar, when he went to Europe, he came back and he actually demanded that all of his soldiers shave because he saw what the Europeans were doing. And he actually instituted, it's actually called a beard tax, that if you had a beard, you had to pay additional taxes for that. So again,
I remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
Again, some actually, again, I want to give his props when it's due. Dempsey does it every holiday season. He does the 10 days of beards and shit like that. He picks one famous beard guy and he does the whole history. Because he was a history teacher before he was a full-time YouTuber. So I got some my information from him too. So with the beard part, what I was going to say was, yes, they did a clean shaving part. Legit had a big part about it. But I don't even think it was even that caused the transformation from bearded man to clean shaven or non-bearded. I think that the transition came to be gas masks. You could not, even to today, You have to wear gas masks. You got to be clean shaved, even if you
work. Yeah. Well, what is the military stand? I mean, I know we got boss man in the back, but what is the current?
It changed currently,
but not for the mask though. So if you're required to wear for whatever you're doing a mask.
The masks now they're saying you can have a beard, but it has to be short trimmed.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, boss man, jump in anytime you want on this one, but because he was in the service, I cannot speak for that for specifically because I never had to wear a gas mask for work.
Yeah, and if anybody in the chat, if you've been in the service, if you remember what the standard was in terms of regarding facial hair when you were in the military, I'd be interested too.
I'll go ahead and chime in there. So I can't speak for any of the other branches, but I know in the Marine Corps specifically, while I was in. You could have okay, so they separated and bifurcated beards and mustaches, for instance.
Right.
So mustaches specifically, it couldn't be 1/8 of an inch longer than past your lip. Okay, that's one, and it couldn't be past the corner of your lip, or a corner of your corner of your mouth. Anyway, so that's the dimensions, right? As far as a beard was concerned, you had to be clean shaven in the Marine Corps as far as beard was concerned. That was not an option. Okay, so mustache had to be no longer than 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. Now, as far as where they are today, you can have a beard, but it is still 1/8 of an inch as far as where it can be, because the gas mask itself, the seal of it can be broken. So when you're in a gas chamber, for instance, they train you on how to break the seal, if you will, or how to clear your mask. And the problem is that it cannot be past the chin line, because that's what the gas mask is, and it can easily be, the seal of it can be actually broken. And in some outfits, SIF gear is pretty standard across the Marine Corps, but depending on your MOS, you have to wear different types of gear, which may limit you further. So, like, let's say, for instance, if you are MARSOC, for instance, and your special forces, where you have to be completely clean shaven because you have to swim, for instance, swim a lot. Like, let's say if you're Navy SEALs, for instance, you have to be clean shaven, and I mean everywhere. Yeah. You cannot have an ounce of hair anywhere besides on your head, obviously. That's a little different. So it really honestly depends. But for general servicemen, especially garrison, you are able to have hair. Now, as far as chest hair, for instance, we usually do not allow chest hair to show past your Charlies or Deltas uniforms. Usually, the higher ranking you are, you'd have to be pretty bold to go up to a silver or brass to tell them that they can't have your chest hair showing past your top button. But you usually have a civvies shirt, which is your white, I'm sorry, not civvies, skivvy shirt, the white shirt, to go to cover all that. But hair cannot be bustling past the shirt. Over.
Right. Gotcha. And thanks for that perspective. So, yeah, so it seemed like for the most part, it's still pretty strict. You know, you're not going to have a soldier.
The only time you may see a little exception if they're like special forces undercover overseas and they have to have a long beard kind of thing. And that's a rare, I mean, 1 in a million.
It's not that. Yeah, it's not. It's certainly not the standard.
That, of course.
Yeah.
But like Bossman said, they do allow beards now, but it has to be an inch. He said inch, right?
Yeah, 1/8 of an inch. Now, if you are, let's say, if you are deployed, for instance, and you're in the field, your 0300s, for instance, they still require you to field shave, but that gets very loose and lax if you are in the field, for instance. But the moment that you get back into garrison, or the moment that you get back to the base, there we go, then that changes to some degree. Over.
Appreciate it.
And that makes sense again. All this stuff, like we saw
Absolutely.
that, if you ever saw Black Hawk Down, for example, they explained that he was on the field, he wasn't shaving, and once he got back in uniform, he was clean shaved immediately.
Right.
And he was kind of like not keeping his weapon on safety. That's a whole different conversation, obviously.
Yeah.
But with the beard thing, with the evolution of the beard, is this kind of thing goes in trend, it comes back in trend, it goes out.
Absolutely.
In trend.
Yeah.
And now we're in the trend, a very heavy trend since early 2010, I want to say.
Yeah. They
were stuck up.
And that's why I want to take, some of the convo because again, it's kind of in the 20th century. So again, we've seen some things all messed up now. So again, this is from OSHA, which is the Office of Safety and Health Administration. So again, they talk about even today, because the question is, can my employer require me to shave a beard? And a lot of it is, well, it depends. It depends on what your profession is. If you are in a profession that requires that you wear a mask of some kind, so you see here the different types of facial hair. So anything with a mustache but no facial hair, you may have some sideburns, that seems to be acceptable. But once you start growing a beard, certainly an employer has the right to issue an OSHA mandate, and this is the mandate here, this 1910-134 from OSHA, in terms of, again, to what Boss Man was talking about earlier about the seal, the facial seal. So if you are in a profession that requires that kind of thing, then you might, your employer could force you to do that. But obviously, if you're not in that kind of profession, or if you're, like I said, for religious reasons, if you're a Muslim who certainly grows a beard for religious purposes, certainly that's certainly harder to enforce that now, and you're starting to see that more accepted in office. I've worked with many Muslims in the past, and office hair, facial hair didn't seem to be an issue in the office. But again, it depends on your profession. Some of the beards those guys had, no way, if they had to be in a job when they were dealing with hazardous materials or something to that, the employer could absolutely step in and tell them that, yes, you need to shave. So any comments on that, Peter? Because I know you work in restaurant food science.
Yeah,
now, one thing I must say, I kind of got annoyed. That does annoy me a little bit. Again, not opposed to the beard, but I'm sorry. I've seen the guys that have the long beards and they wear those beard nets. And like when you're in college, when you're in the food line, you got your tray and they're in behind and they're serving you and whatnot. I don't know. I just never thought that was a, thing, not disrespect to what those guys do. But I'm thinking, if you're working in a job that requires that level of protection, if you will, my always think, can you do something else? But just me as I guess as a consumer on the other side, how often are you doing that? But you work in the food industry, so you can talk about that. I want to
blow a bubble, a host to say, people think beards are nasty. No, they're not fucking nasty. People who don't take care of their beard are nasty. I wash my beard every day. For example, two different beard washes right here.
Mm-hmm.
One is my daily, a gentle wash, and one is more like a little more stripping for me. I wash my beard daily, and I don't miss a day. The only time I may miss a day if I didn't leave the house, and that's rare. I mean, that's once in every 6 months. So, by that said, with the food industry, they try to pull that bullshit with me, and I went online, printed the whole DOH book, and I found DOH says you are not required to be shaved. You are required to wear a beer guard. So it depends what field you're in. If you need a healthcare part of it, like I am, anything over a 5 o'clock shadow, you need to be a beer guard. Now, with beards, longer it is, less chance of shedding, because it kind of like already has the beard has kind of like made him some stronger in build. Is it going to be breakage? Yes. Is it going to break? Yes. This is why you brush your beard in the morning. Any breakage I have is in the morning when I brush my beard out, and my beard routine is just, oil and brush it out. That's all I do in the morning.
Right.
So when you do your routine, washing it, oil, brush it, wash, brush, after come out of the shower, oil, brush again. you brush your beard so many times, you actually prevent that habit. I have never in about 8 years I've been growing a beard, and maybe more, and I have saying, oh, I'm shedding, I'm losing beard hairs. I have my head hair, I lose more head hair than a fucking kangaroo's ass. But I have never lost beard hairs. Maybe I'm a freak of nature, but that's
right.
me.
Well, I was gonna ask you. So your routine, because me, I know my routine in the morning. I shave my head and I shave. It probably takes, between those two, it probably takes me 15 minutes a day. Because usually what I do is for my head, I put a pre-shave. I put electric shave on my head that tightens and stiffens my hairs on my head. While I'm doing that, I do my shaving routine, which I talked about before. So I would say probably start to finish, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say maybe like 10 to 12 minutes daily that I do for that. And obviously, if I'm going out later that night, if I have a shower or something, I may, do it again. Or if I'm in a hurry, I'll do the oil shave, and I'll do that in like less than 3 minutes. So there's just routine of washing your beard every day, applying the oils every day, brushing it every day. And also if you have a night routine that you do in addition to your day routine. So roughly how much time do you think you're spending on a daily basis? And then as a follow-up to that, answer this: what percentage of men do you think are doing what you do? Because from what you're saying, you're pretty diligent about it. But again, how many, just your gut in terms of how guys with beards, how diligent they're going to be like you in terms of their beard maintenance.
So let me actually break down both of my routines, because I have an AM and PM routine. My AM routine is very simple. I wash my face. When I'm done washing, I put bronzer, whatever it's called, on my face. Then I put my face on my moisturizer with sunblock is built into it. Once as I do that, I get my beard wet, because you gotta get your beard wet to get oil in it. But beard and oil doesn't connect. That's the point. They don't connect. They seal each other in. That's why you want that. So, and I brush it out. I brush my teeth and do all that stuff. I'll say everything in and out of the bathroom, from taking a piss, washing my teeth, face, beard, and everything. I will say the highest 10 minutes tops. That's it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. At night, when I shower, I actually wash my beard and my face at the same time with two different things, different products. Sometimes if I don't have it, I will use a beard wash to use it for my face. And it's natural and it's very delicate. I have used beard wash for face for years. I still do. But when I have a big breakouts, I go to regular face wash. So all in with this length beard, I'll probably say about 12 minutes in and out of the shower. Now, when I have to do heat, that takes a little more. I'll say about another 15, not 15, I'm sorry, I'm overreacting. Another 5 minutes. So let's say 20 minutes tops in and out of the shower, everything.
Right.
Done, dressed, everything. And people think I'm doing all these hours. It's not that many hours. You're just adding a few more minutes into your routine. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy. Now, with the beer guard, back in my job, I'm saying some of the best chefs I have met and work with had a ZZ Top beard. I mean, long down to their gut beards. And some of them have it braided like a Viking. Some of them are wrapping it and put a little what's called a beard knot. They put in a beard knot. They put the beard knots on and go to work. A lot of men in my field have beards now.
But they don't have but you can't wear a beard net even with that if it's that long, right?
Yeah, it's called a beard. You put that long, you put it in a knot. You just how men have put their men bun kind of thing,
right?
It's a beard bun,
right? But I'm saying, but they can't. But it's too long for them to wear those beard guards. So again,
they can fit in there.
They can fit it in those beard guards still, even with that going down to their chest or stomach. They can still fit that in.
It really stretches out. That thing stretches out. It doesn't look like it, but it has access to it. It works great. Trust me. I seen a guy who
Eric is trolling again. Steel wool is great for stuff in those pesky. Have you ever used steel wool on your head? Gosh, you try to take. Look, I use
kind of retarded.
I use an exfoliant. Look, I'll use an exfoliator a few times a week with some jojoba beads in it and whatnot. I'll do that, but I haven't started steel wool yet.
No, I'll use a face scrub once a week. Someone I know who works in healthcare, and that's her expertise, skin.
Right.
And she told me all the doctors she works with recommend once a week to what's called use a face scrub, because it gives you a week to heal the skin out. And that's what I've been doing personally.
Gotcha.
But with the beard, yes, you can fit that beard in there. Trust me.
Yeah.
I seen it go in. I'm like,
right.
How the fuck do you fit that shit in there? Like,
Right.
dude.
But even and okay, so I'll take your word for it. But even I'm saying from someone from the outside. Now again, the chef in the kitchen, more than likely you're not going to see. The food server in line who's serving it to you. And again, I don't know in the chat. I don't know if you guys have saw that or sensed that, but it's just something about it where when you see that image or whatever, sometimes you're kind of worried about the hygiene or the sanitation of what you're getting from the guy from the other side with his tray, and there's a guy who's.
So here's the rule I teach my guys always when they come in. If your uniform is dirty, it means you're dirty. Simple as that. If you come through my door and your fucking apron is like a goddamn shit, I'm sending your fucking ass home right there on the spot. Simple as that. I don't have an excuse. Don't give me, I didn't have time. I got an argument with my girlfriend. Buy 3 aprons. Buy 6 aprons. I don't give a shit. Your uniform needs to be put on. If your uniform is put on, it means you groomed yourself that day. That's how I always went off it. And when I tell everybody, even when I'm on the other side, the customer side, if I see you dirty, meaning I would think you're dirty. You haven't brushed your teeth in weeks, probably. I think. Yeah.
I wasn't talking about that. I was. I guess, like I said, it's just more sort of look. But just to follow up on your care again. How many guys do you think are doing that though? To the degree that you're doing it, or guys are just kind of lazy with their beard care. Do you think that's the majority? It's 50-50? What's your gut?
I had the same conversation about 2-3 years ago with King Smith. And to this day, he goes, I got better with my beard routine. I use CQ, for example, my best friend. When he grows his beard out once a year, always for the hell of it, he likes growing his beard through the winter and going down to goatee in the summer. Cool. And he hates the first couple of weeks because he's always very itchy when he first comes in. He goes to me. And I start bugging him. So I finally gave in. He goes, okay, just recommend a fucking company because I'm done hearing your fucking mouth. He goes, I give him like a couple of them. He went with Kingsman, Premier Oil. And he put he put him like, and I asked him a couple weeks later, how is your growth this time, dude? He goes, oh my God. He goes, it's so much easier now. I'm like, I'm not itchy. I'm not irritated. It's actually pleasant to grow my beard out. Oh, really? And he goes, don't you fucking rub it in, you motherfucker. He goes to me, I'm like, oh, I will. I was late. Because I love when people don't tell me, oh, I don't have time to do that. Oh, that's not masculine, or this, that. They may find every excuse in the world to not do it. But when you actually convince them to do something, like, for example, you know very well what kind of routine you need to do for a bald head. So if you give me all this advice as a bald brother, I go, and I don't want to do it. And then eventually one day I do it. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see why he does that.
Yeah. Like I tell guys all the time, it's like, again, if you want to have a better shave experience on your head. Now, again, some guys like, I won't put a razor on my head. So I won't do that. Like I said, I use a rotary 6-head shaver on my head. But again, if you're going to do that, again, you got to use something like electric shave. The hair needs to be dry. Because again, a lot of those shavers say, okay, well, you can use it in the shower also. It's like, no, your head needs to be dry and the hairs have to be stiff and they need to be standing up. When you do that, then the razor blade, it glides over your head. There's no irritation whatsoever. But if it's wet still, if there's any kind of pulling or tugging, it could be very uncomfortable. So I met guys say, yeah, I got the head shaver and whatnot, but I'm still not comfortable. Did you get the electric shave, or did you get the pre-shave after pre-shave? Did you put that on? It's like, nah, I forgot that. So put that on, give it about 10 minutes to dry out and let it set your hair, and then try it again, and then come back to me and let me know how your experience was. So I agree that it's about educating people in terms of, whether you're going to grow a beard or whether you're going to be clean shaven or bald or whatever. You still got to put that work in. But just like anything else, a lot of guys will not do that work, and they won't be consistent with it because they're not disciplined. Like, have that in the morning. It's like you're running late. It's like, oh, I'll just throw something on or whatever, and I'll just keep it moving. But again, proper care, you need to get up 15-20 minutes earlier than you want to sometimes, so that you can let your pores open in the shower, and also when you apply the shaving cream, you have to let it sit for about a minute or two. So again, usually after I apply my first lather of shave cream on, then that's when I moisturize my body, because that gives me time for that lather to set. So then when I go in and start shaving, then it's good. But a lot of guys, they just put it on and then start shaving right away, and they're still going to come with the irritation, because you don't let the foam thicken. When you put it on, it thickens up and it sets a nice base to it before you shave off. A lot of guys don't do that. So I'm saying, certainly on the shaving side, I think a lot of guys aren't diligent, but I would have to think even on the bearded side, even though you have more products, more options, better things to groom your hair with, I don't know how many guys are actually taking those steps as you do every morning and night to make sure that your beard is healthy, that it's hygienic, and that it's presentable. Because now, do you do a lot of shaping with your beard? Do you have like edge it? Do you do?
I eventually. Yeah. So you have a couple. This is a kind of argument in the interesting. So before I get into it, I want to mention one thing. Remember almost a year ago when I was shaving my head? Remember that? Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I remember. Yeah. You were a member for a minute. You were a 7B member for a minute.
Okay. I was rocking the we called that the beer. Was it bold, beautiful, and bearded? And it's called the 3 Bs for the white dudes. Okay. Let's get it straight. But
okay.
Personally, I shave at night. Number one, because it's just more time for me. All right. 2, believe it or not, dude, when I was shaving my head, I was putting a straight razor to my head every night.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it felt better for me versus a electric razor. I did all 3, and I did reviews on the channel and everything. I felt a straight razor got a better shave for me, and that was my personal preference. Now, the question you were asking, how many the shaping apart? Okay, so we have 2 kinds of feel. You got people who let it naturally go and let it grow from beginning, like Dancy, from the top to the end is all natural. He does not put a razor in his face. He doesn't shape it up. He might trim it here and there, and that's it. Now you have other people like myself. I like shaping my beard up. Personal preference. Like I like the ducktail, as it's called. It's like a V goes to it. That's just how I always liked. Or the square power beard, like I said earlier. Again, it depends what your style is. Like you can change it up. You can do whatever you want. I know my buddy, he has a very long beard. He does a V, also a ducktail, but he likes to get rid of the mustache once in a while. Like he won't touch the beard at all. He might shape it up, but he always cleans his neck up, and that's a no in the field. You don't, if you have a long beard, you don't want to clean your neck because you see through then. You don't want to see through, so you need those exposing actors, we call them, or back wall. Like this back wall doesn't see transcend. You don't see through it, and you see through it. It's kind of kill the purpose of having a beard at that point. So that's why you want to leave your neckline alone. Long as you can, don't touch it. Let it go. Rock it like that. And that's how a nice beard. You said nice thick beard. So I'm actually going to show a couple things here really fast before we go to it.
Go for it.
I want to show one person specifically. Let me which button is it? Screen. Okay, I'm gonna use Dr. Neck for example. This guy's beard is insane. This beard,
yeah.
He won a beard of the year. But I'm gonna go over a couple of this stuff actually right now, really fast, because I want to go over the products too. Really fast. As we're in it, you okay, Paul? Do that really fast, Paul?
Yeah. We can come back to my stuff later. So go ahead.
Yeah, so the oils mostly I want to go over because that's where the money maker are. This one right here, I have it right here. Actually, where the fuck are you? Right here. I use it every night. This it helps you grow the beard. This specific
yeah.
You know what? I actually spoke to this guy, and he's the sweetest guy ever. Such a nice guy. He's not even funny. A couple of stuff in there. I know it's somewhere in here. Ingredients.
No, it was there. Go up. It was there.
Right here.
Go up. Scroll up.
Where?
Right there. So again, the Berta oil, the rice bran oil, castor oil, peppermint oil, and rosemary oil.
So peppermint and what's the other one? Trying to think of the name of it now. It's peppermint and mint. Something about peppermint and mint helps you growth. I don't understand why beard loves that. The beard goes like, whoosh, and like the fuck. How I go 12 inches in one night?
It's like fertilizer. Pretty
much. I don't understand that. He has some great products. This guy, again, check out Dr. Nick. He's really good. I know I'm promoting for free, but I don't care. This tab. Okay, this is Live Beard. This is what the company I was talking about earlier. When I started my beard career with ingredients right here. Natural. It's jojoba. I said earlier.
Garn, jojoba, grapeseed. Yep. Natural fragrance, vitamin E. Yep.
Great company. You can actually find this company on Amazon too. Just FYI for anybody. This one is interesting. Mac Beard. This is what I call ironic. The reason I call it ironic is their blend is unique, very unique. Ingredients. Where are you? No. Okay, bye. Goodbye. I know you're in here somewhere.
Oh, right there. Stay there. No, stay right there. So again, Cantanella seed oil, metal foam seed oil, coconut oil, broccoli seed oil, cocoa oil, castor. So that seems to be a common ingredient. They use castor oil. Haven't seen a lot of tea tree in these. I've seen that in other products, but I haven't seen it so far in these.
Oil. Tea tree, you don't use that much. He does use sometimes. Man, what's that big bird that shoves his head in the ground? Help me out here, Paul. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking. The ostrich.
Ostrich oil. He uses ostrich oil in some of his products too.
Oh, okay. Ostrich or emu oil. Yeah.
And so those are some of the oils. But you see the trend, right? You see the trend. All of them have similar blends. Some of them have cameo oil as the top one. If you have the top one, that's the highest.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to show this mostly is because of Dr. Nick. His beard is not just a beard. It's an icon pretty much in the field.
Right.
That's how big it is.
Right. But I guess go ahead. So going into the question is not only that guys are rocking beards, but guys are also becoming bolder in the beards that they rock. So this is going beyond just having the shaped, well trimmed or whatnot. Guys are kind of going all out. And I find it interesting because, again, now this was an article that I saw from LinkedIn. You can look it up. Again, 6 reasons why corporate culture hates beards. Again, we might be in a new trend here. This article was written back in 2017, so 7 years ago. So this trend line is changing to Peter's point earlier. So this is, from this article, the guy is explaining from HR professionals and different people. And again, I didn't write up all his commentaries, but I'm just going to highlight them here. Considered by a lot of, now again, we're also talking about corporate. We're not talking about blue collar. We're not talking about chef or any of these other sort of industries where there's certain environments that still have certain attitudes, and again, I acknowledge that a lot of those attitudes may be changing towards it, but the general consensus that he got is, one, that it's a mark of laziness. That, again, to go through that routine of at least, or if you're gonna have a beard, at least making sure that it looks sharp when you go into the office. But I don't know too many corporate guys who go, even the guys who you saw, the guy was in the nice suit and whatnot. That to me would still he would have a hard time selling that in a corporate environment. Maybe not every corporate environment, but certainly in a lot of them. So market laziness is one. The other one, considered, and again, whether it's true or not, again, it's about perception. Unhygienic and untidy. So if you came to a job interview in a corporate environment, these are some of the things that, again, depending on who's hiring, if they're not younger, if they still have that old school, because again, certain companies, I remember like IBM for a long time, it's like you couldn't have facial hair. I remember that. EDS, if you guys remember Ross Perot, who ran for president back in the 90s or whatnot, his company, EDS, no facial hair. That was the thing. I mean, there was a lot of guys who, you wore the blue suit, the red tie, clean shaven. Because again, a lot of those guys like Ross Perot, he was ex-military. So I think a lot of those guys who might have been in the military during World War I or II or whatever, I think they still carry that same mindset into the corporate space. And there was a certain look that they wanted, and that they wanted to promote through all their employees. So again, being lazy, unhygienic, or untidy, whether it's true or not, that's the perception. Then intimidating. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you love this picture, Pete. But again, it's guys with beards, especially if they're long, and there's an image that comes with that doesn't necessarily communicate. You said the guy was very nice when you talk to him, but again, I'm looking at some of these guys with those beards. I'm thinking who were those guys from WWE? Bray Wyatt, and he had that group of guys who were doing
let's give him credit when he's due. Bray Wyatt was a legend.
Yeah, but the two guys who were with him, the two top big guys who he's teamed up with, it was like
Braun, strongest man, Braun
Strowman, and then there was another guy who was with him as well. But again,
two of them passed away, unfortunately.
Definitely.
I just want to,
but for some people, they find it intimidating. Now, low trust. Now, again, R. Payne talked about. Now, you had another content creator. He said he doesn't trust people without beards. But again, in my experience, and again, I've had sales training in the past. And again, we were taught in sales, clean shaven. You might have a small mustache or something like that. But again, it was drilled into us. Nobody, unless it was for a religious reason. If you were Muslim or something like that, different story. But generally, the idea was it's like men with facial hair, you could not trust them. And Randy Savage. I don't know if I trust Randy Savage either. Oh, yeah, what you mean, Randy Savage here? But again,
here's how I look at this.
Yeah,
I don't care if you have a beard or not a beard. You have to give me a reason to trust you. Simple as that.
Yeah, but
in the world now, it doesn't matter if you have a beard or not, a long hair, or short hair. I don't care if you have pubic hair in your fucking face.
I'm going to, and I agree with you, but I'm saying what we're still looking at today is, again, we're looking at the trends. You said trends come and go.
That's disgusting.
The trend that was for many years, in certainly in my lifetime, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, in corporate positions, clean shaven was preferred, and in some cases it was insisted. I remember even in sports teams, the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner, when he owned the team, that was a rule. You could not have a beard. You can have a mustache. So Don Mattingly, Dave Winfield, they had mustaches. Reggie Jackson had a mustache, but you could not have a beard. He mandated that because he thought that, again, there was a certain image that he wanted to project. Now, conversely, the Boston Red Sox, but back then I think they called them the idiots, they rocked their beard. So when you had New York and Boston playing those baseball games in the 2000s, the Boston Red Sox grew out their beards intentionally, almost to say like a middle finger to the Yankees. So you had that kind of rivalry going on. But again, it's going to differ based on the culture that you're in, and how many times, I don't know if you remember, Peter, in back in the day, the shyster, whether it be in a cartoon or whether it be in an old movie, the guy always would twiddle his beard like this, like he's scheming. It's like, no, how can I get these people? So the image of the guy twisting his mustache because he was scheming to do something to somebody or whatever. So this was taught. I've been in professional sales organizations and classes where they frown on beard, rocking a beard, or a goatee or anything like that, because from those times they were saying that it proved that you weren't trustworthy if you had a beard or not. So again, that could be changing today, and I'm not against it. Here's another thing. Again, religious association. That God, now you do have today. Now this one I may push back on a little bit because, again, it depends on the religion. Now I do know that there's a lot of guys today. I have relatives in my family who do so, who, as they've gotten more religious, they've gone back to beards, because a lot of times they'll quote Old Testament. There's a verse in Leviticus, I think it's Leviticus chapter 29:17, where it talks about that for a Jewish man in the Old Testament times that they were not allowed to shave their beards. And so back then it was accepted. But again, my thing is I don't live in the Old Testament time, but for a lot of guys, having a beard makes you feel more Bible-y. I'll just use that as a word, that it makes you feel more connected to the Bible if you have a beard. I mean, Jesus had a beard. So, if Jesus had a beard, then, hey, it must be cool to rock a beard. And so a lot of guys are doing it for those reasons. So I will say that, but I do have some exceptions that I'll bring up in the next slide, but you can go ahead, Pete.
Personally, I don't feel like okay, I'm closer to God because I have a beard. I feel more me having a beard.
Right.
I have no reason behind it, logic. Call me the Greek crazy Spartan. I don't give a shit what you call me half the fucking times. You know how I am.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing. I feel I'm more a man in a way because I have a beard. I don't feel comfortable when I don't have a beard. Even if I have only a 5 o'clock shadow, I'm at least more comfortable with that. And I remember when I shaved it last year. If you remember the story, bro, my mom goes, "Well, I like to see your face one more time before I croak." I'm like, "Jeez, can you fucking guilt trip me even more?" And I shaved the goddamn fucking thing. I'm like, "Oh yeah," but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So again, religion, but again, not always. And here, I know from the African American community, which I belong to, there are certain religions that prohibit beards. So if you look on the left, again, whatever you feel about these individuals or not, it's not the point. The point is, again, in the Nation of Islam, even though a lot of Muslims that you see, they have beards, but in the Nation of Islam, beards are frowned upon. You never see an NOI member with a beard. You may see him with a mustache, but you seldom will see them with a beard. And then the guy on the right, Geno Jennings. Now I know a lot of people in these spaces, they like listening to the guy and whatnot. He's pretty controversial in some of the things that he says and whatnot. But again, if you read the bylaws of his church, which I do have, because I was just curious about the guy because he was like all over the internet and people kept quoting him and playing his videos and stuff. It's like what this guy's all about. In his church, in his apostolic church, the body, they say you can't have beards. You have to be clean shaven, and you can have a mustache. You can have that little stash under the chin, but no beards. So again, depending on your culture, depending on your religion, some cultures forbid beards or frown on beards. Other cultures insist that you have one. It's going to vary based on the culture. So the reason as far as having a beard makes you necessarily more religious, not necessarily. And I just want to use these two guys as an example of groups who preach or who teach to their memberships no beards, And again, even the guy Geno Jennings on the right, who he's a Christian guy, he's not going back to Leviticus 29:17 saying don't cut your beard. He says something different, But again, guys like to promote him, so I'm just bringing him up as an example that if you're going to be a member of this church, no beard.
Boss man, hit my video really fast. I have it shared in the back. All right, get ready for me. This is torture for me to watch this again.
Okay, let's go. This is a reboot. But now, how long will it take me to go back to it? Probably gonna make a big mistake. Oh well.
You look more handsome with every stroke. I saw the beauty just starting to come out of you. You just became more and more handsome with every stroke or whatever. It's
Wicked. You're wicked. That's right. You're wicked. Back in the
One thing I will say, and I think this is one thing we're going to agree on about. Only thing I think we're going to agree on about beards. When you don't have facial hair, or at least not long facial, like I had in that video, you look so much younger. I think we're gonna agree on that part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, because it's one of the reasons. Again, I still work in a corporate environment, in a very competitive environment. So one of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to present a look that wouldn't necessarily reveal my age. You know what I mean? Because I'm 55, but I'm still competing with 35-year-olds for the same job. And so one of the reasons I stay fit, one of the reasons I stay clean shaven, because again, if I let my hair grow back, you're gonna know how old I am because I have bald spots.
You got to be able to pew.
So being clean shaven, I think gives me a perception of being younger, which again allows me to still compete certainly in the market. So definitely I agree, and that's one of the reasons why I chose. Yeah.
You go in the office 4 days a week. So how many men in your coworkers, colleagues, upper management does have beards?
None.
Really?
None. At least the guys in office. Now, again, some of the guys who might be in Israel or whatever, overseas, they may rock one. But if you look at even the main guy in the States, no beard. It's just not.
When I was doing corporate cooking in a building called TMG Health, it was healthcare, they had health insurance. I was in the cafeteria. A lot of the higher up management had beards. They didn't have like this length. They had a short beard. Short beard. Nice trimmed up, always edged up correctly.
Yeah.
Have 2-inch tops.
Right. And that's the thing. But you're saying the fact, again, you said these are corporate guys high up. So again, there's a standard there. That's why I was asking you earlier about your beard care, because a lot of folks will not put in that work. They say if you're going to be in a corporate environment like that, and if you're going to rock a beard, they're not going to say no, but you better be presentable. You better be, when you're going into a business meeting or whatever, it should be edged. It should be sharp. It shouldn't be. Now, again, if you want it peppered, if you're older, I don't know if you want to color it or pepper it, leave it pepper or whatever it is. But again, for some of these companies, you have to present a very professional look. And just having a beard grow naturally in the eyes of some of these guys in certain places, in banking, in a lot of these financial institutions, a lot of these guys, there's an image that they want to promote. And again, especially like I said, if they're old school, like I said, I can't tell you how many times it was drilled into us. Shave daily, keep clean shaven, because again, you're looked at as being more trustworthy when you're clean shaven. So if a lot of those guys still have that old school mentality, I'm not saying it's not changing, but it still may be a while before you see guys like the ones in the pictures you were showing earlier, and they can just show up in corporate. They can be a CEO or something, and someone say, "Hey, you might want to bring that in."
Dr. Nick, the guy who had number one beard, he is a CEO of 5 different companies. He owns 5 different companies. He runs all of them. He's the CEO of like 5 different companies.
If he owns a company, then he can do whatever he wants. I'm just saying, but
I've seen people with beards, maybe not that long. I've seen chefs long beards, but a person like a CEO, I haven't seen him that long. I see him like an 2-inch. Now, when your beard is short, you don't really need to do that much care. The only thing you really need to do is just oil and wash, and that's it.
Right.
That's what you have to do. Now, let me show some other products too. I
sure thing.
Talk about butter could be one of your best friends. It's literally
that's not cooking butter, though. Right. Look, hang on. No. Facts again in a lot of black households, those natural products, butter, coconut oil, things like that, if you can go and get the expensive stuff or whatever, a lot of people use those type of products. So I'm not saying that the people aren't using those natural things. They might not be as refined, but some people do use them. Some people make their own stuff.
Oh yeah, you can make all this at home. All this stuff except the beard wash and beard conditioner, you can make at home. Oils, they have make yourself home videos all over the internet on those stuff. I just don't have the fucking time and patience to make it.
Right.
But no, this is not cooking. It's mostly shea butter and stuff like that. It has all the same oils you saw in the oil. plus into the butter, it moisturizes your beard overnight. It's an overnight moisturizer pretty much. Beard wash I've already shown in conditioner.
Yeah.
And if you want a little boost to stuff, and it's biotin. This is the brand I personally use. You can use any brand you want. It's preference, really.
Right.
Just make sure you use a good brand. No caffeine an hour before, no caffeine after an hour. It's a 2-hour window, no caffeine, pretty much.
Gotcha.
That's it. Even like all of this you see is not expensive. $50. That's all I spend. And it lasted me 6 months.
But I'll still ask the same question. How many guys are going to put that work in?
And that is a question. A great fucking question, Paul, because I can talk to you to blue to your face. You and me are unique. We're unicorns, I call us, because we put care in our bodies. Because I don't want wrinkles. I put eye cream, aging cream on my face. You probably do the same thing at 75 years old. You need to do it. But
absolutely,
I have gray hairs. Like I use that for example. Do I dye? Do I want to put dye in my hair and put silicone in my hair, and hopefully it doesn't fuck my hair up, and I have to shave my whole head and start over?
Right.
I don't know if I want to do that. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Same thing with my beard. All that stuff is silicone. Silicone is so bad for your hair. The only time you want silicone is in your hair if it's in a conditioner. That's the only time. And it has to be a very small amount. Yeah. That's why it's so hard to find decent products at the store, because everything is clogged up with silicone. Anything with a cone in it is silicone. End of story. Like, they just worded differently so you can hide it. Okay. It's cone, it's silicone, it's conone, it's silicone again. Fuck you, assholes. I'm like, Axe, great example. Axe, I used to love Axe when it first came out.
Right.
Axe originally came out of UK. Who doesn't even know it, from Europe, Greece, and so on. I remember using that shit back in Greece. And when it came here, I was happy it was here finally. Oh my God, finally here, my favorite product. Yeah, they fucked it up. It got to the point like I'll put it this way. You cannot find a wash. Let me rephrase that. A shampoo and conditioner in one. It doesn't work like that. Those two do not work together great. They have to be separate. When you say, "Oh, I have a 2-in-1," you're on crack, motherfucker. That's what I knew. The company was going downhill fast.
I'll be honest with you. Now, ask me. Now, I use Axe for decades. There's this Dark Temptation that I used on a regular basis for like 20 years. I didn't start wearing cologne like a real eau toilette, right? Not just the perfume, or the parfum, but this real stuff. My daughter got me because she worked at a company that provided premium brand men's colognes and parfums. Okay. I just started wearing one last year. But for the longest time, I was an Axe guy, even through my 40s and up to like 50 into my early 50s. And so I didn't care. I used Axe. I used Brute. So I didn't care so much about fragrances. So you had all these channels that were coming out talking about the fragrances and what you need to do and how you put it on your palm and your wrist and you do all that. I was never into that until very recently. So I was definitely on for the Axe. Now the only thing with it didn't last, and I think that I'm glad I moved to using the more premium brands, because it lasts longer throughout the day, which is what you want. Axe, you put it on, it doesn't give you that all day kind of. You get
to your car, it's already gone.
It's gone, but it smelled great though when I put it on. But again, I just didn't prioritize fragrances. But once I got back to it, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely back on the fragrance. But I know guys who got like 20 different fragrances. I don't see the need for that. But certain guys, it's like they're just, like I said, they're like collectors. You got a whole medicine cabinet full of fragrances that you'll never run out of, and you're still getting other ones as they come along.
So I went away from Axe completely. I'm into the Bath and Body Works men's side, obviously, and they have a great man, but they don't come out like the women. Like they come out like 20 different ones in 1 month. Like no, they only come 1 or 2 every few months, so it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The lotion, body wash, I go through crazy. All right. But the can of spray, Jesus Christ, I can't go through those fucking things. Like an ending pit. Like it's like an uninterrupted. I'm spraying. 7 months later, spraying. And another year again, spraying. When is fucking ever runs out?
Well, it does. Well, and you don't need to. Like I learned, MMA. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. He had those chances. Like, how again. I started watching when I got the set for my daughter. I started then watching some of those men's channels. Like, how do you put this on? Like, I would be the one to kind of spray it all over and said, no, you just do, back of the ear, right here at the chest. You do it on your wrist or whatnot. So again, I had to learn those things because I was used to just you would just do the total spray or whatever and just kind of keep it moving. So again, I wasn't well versed in that. I admit it.
And that's the thing. And like body spray is a little different. I use body spray on time when I come out of the shower. Just spray a little bit on my body and call it a day and move on. I have my, then I lotion or whatever. Most men won't go to that extreme. I owe challenge to every man. Okay, you're not into the beards. Okay, I get it. But you're into at least skincare a little bit. A little bit, yeah. Okay, go to Bath and Body Works. Try their products. Get away from the Axe stuff. And come talk to me later. And usually 9 out of 10 times they come back to me like, yo, thanks. It's so much better than using Axe stuff. My skin feels better, more refresh. I'm like, that's the point.
That is true. That is true.
Let me next to me. My hands dries up all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta have it. Yeah, especially if I wash. I mean, the soaps. Especially if in a public establishment or whatever, and if you have to wash, my hands get so dry. It's like they're cracking as soon as I dry them off. So, so I gotta have hand lotion all the time.
The heavy duty soap that I use at a restaurant in the back.
Yeah, because you got to break. Yeah, because it's got to break down grease, and it's gonna take out your natural oil.
So harsh, and plus, if the management get you cheap gloves, and not all, some of them are actually thinking about that. Like when I get a cheap, I get the good ones because the cheap one breaks more, and you don't want that. But the cheap ones dry your fucking hands out like no tomorrow. It's so bad. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Let me go back to my slides real quick, boss man. If you still have those, if you're still back there, I just want to kind of finish up. I just got a couple more I just want to go through. But again, the last one I was talking about, again, rebellion. Again, this, and like I said, I admit, I know Jeff TV, who's in the chat tonight, he made statement that, this is dying. And it may die in the next few years. And honestly, I hope it does, why, so why people still being judged by that? It's unsaid. But the only thing I decided to look at was, and again, this was for me, this is the era. So I'm younger. This is the era that I grew up in. And I know this is white European standard. I get you, Jeff. But again, will we ever have a James Bond bearded? I don't think so. I just think, but that was like the image, the look, we had shows on that talking about James Bond and talking about that look, that he had. Again, Bonds are again, clean shaven, sharp, debonair, that kind of look. And for a lot of, certainly again in the 80s and the 90s, that was the look. Guys that were even your hairstyle was high and tight, But now, not only guys are wearing beards, they're also wearing braids, they're wearing dreads, they're twists, So men are certainly changing their look. Now the question is going to be whether or not is that going to be accepted in all places, or are you making a conscious choice? Look, I don't have to be in every place then. But if there's certain place you're trying to get into, like I said, either for a job interview or for, applying to a school or whatever, depending on what you want to do, those could still be factors in terms of you, getting admitted or not, or, getting the job offer or not. But this was, for me growing up, this was the standard. Everybody, regardless of who were, everybody wanted to kind of look like James Bond or whoever sort of the cool character was. And so this kind of image, so we talk about, because really at the end of the day, we're talking about masculinity, right? We're talking about the bearded look that presents or projects an image of masculinity. And it's certainly becoming more prevalent today with more people going to that style. But you still have another current that has also defined masculinity. I don't think anybody was more masculine than James Bond and never had any facial hair. Unless he was like in a prison camp or something like that and he had to get cleaned up or something. But, but this is the competing This is the shift. This is the change that's happening. That as beards are becoming more accepted and mustaches and whatnot is becoming more accepted. We may, this may change, or said it is changing. But this could be just a generational thing. But this kind of standard that was set back in the 60s and the 50s and whatnot. Look at all the entertainers. Look at all the movies. Look at Arnold in the middle of his career, right? Conan the Barbarian. You think if anybody would have a beard, it would be a barbarian. But Conan the Barbarian, he didn't have a beard until the very end of the movie, where he's sitting on his throne and he's got his long beard, but he was clean shaven. Stallone, how often did Stallone have a beard? Yeah, he had a beard in like Cobra and some other things, but Rambo didn't have a beard. So that standard of masculinity being defined by how you looked was certainly different in those times. Now, again, I don't see too many actors now. I know John Wick, for example, again, bearded guy. Is that going to be the new Hollywood standard, where you're going to have more action heroes and whatnot are going to be bearded? But most superheroes, with the exception of Thor, most superheroes are not bearded, or Aquaman, not bearded.
Captain
In
America
fact, that's
had
a twist, because
there.
he did have Winter Soldier, but he was kind of like Rogue. He wasn't like in the the main. But by Endgame, the beard was gone.
Let me jump.
But he was kind of yeah.
So we're from the, I want to say 60s, around 60s. I want to say maybe late 40s to all the way to the 90s, maybe early 2000s. This was the look you ever had to get to. You may have some goatees and chin straps, but that's it. Nothing crazy like that. Now, I wanted to also mention something else. The hairstyle, we're going backwards in time a little bit. Like the Papadillo back in style, the clays, get rid. People don't use gel. If you see gel, how cheap it is now, it's ridiculous. You give it away because the silicone in it. I'm like, even my hairstyle right now, aside comb over, I use gel once every 6 months. I have a little in there, a little stash on a special occasion. That's it. Now, with the beards and style, like, remember beards were usually the long hair. Like, remember when you first met me, I had the long hair and beard and all that stuff. That was the hippie look, if I called it. Now it's just a common look. We're going backwards again. Styles keep going.
Well, it's interesting, like you said, the hit in the 60s, long hair was considered like the hippie look or whatever, not having clothes. Then in the 70s and 80s, you started to have the long haired guys with the flowing hair in the back or whatever. So you had that kind of thing going on. So I said, where these trends are going to go, but I think the main takeaway from from what I'm getting from all of this is that, again, how we define masculinity in terms of look has certainly changed over the years. Again, if you look back at just the movies back, we talked about this a little bit last night on a Hangout show. The heroes, it's like guys weren't jacked in the 60s. You know what I mean? Now everybody's got to be super muscular and buffed and in the gym and ripped and all those things. But those guys back in the day, those guys smoked cigarettes and they barely worked out and whatnot, but they were just tough guys and whatnot. So we're always looking to define masculinity through an image of some kind. And again, maybe the images that I grew up on, being a Gen Xer, are certainly different from the images that I'm seeing today, where, again, more hair is accepted, man buns are accepted, dreads and long flowing hair and braids and things like that, and long beards are being accepted. Maybe that will be the new trend that, certainly starts to dominate. But I go back to that earlier comment where you had that content creator saying he doesn't trust people who do not have beards. That's still one I'm still getting used to, because, again, I never heard of that until then. So it's we're in a different time.
Joking too, but I know I speak to him. I actually have spoken to him on a one-on level. And like anybody who reaches out to him, he one thing he's really good. He replies to all the comments and replies to all the messages you send him on the Facebook stuff. But maybe he's joking, maybe he's not. But you know, sometimes people make comments about his beard, but he doesn't care. That's the thing. People who have long beard don't give a shit about that stuff.
Yeah,
where they are, you know, they more comfortable with that. And like, we're a unique species. I know that. But you also have the unique women to like somebody like that too.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I realize our country is a lot of the beer stuff is not it's not normal around here. But now if you go somewhere else towards the south, that's more acceptable over that south way.
Right. And back to the question that we posed earlier, we didn't get a lot of feedback from the ladies, but I know we got Milani just joined the chat. My auntie Loki is certainly in the chat tonight. So we're talking about beards and whatnot. And just for the ladies, do you find a man with a beard, a full beard, or maybe a trimmed, high and tight beard, or no facial hair at all? What is your preference? Is that something that you're attracted to? Is that become the new standard where you see a lot more guys now? Like I said, long beards. I mean, guys are not shy about growing their beards out and displaying that. So is that, to you, is that a sign of masculinity over a clean shaven person? And again, I won't take offense if you say it is, but I'm just curious from the ladies who are still in the chat. Again, what is your preference? I know Catelli said earlier she doesn't prefer facial hair. She doesn't like facial hair. But for some of the other ladies who are in the chat, as we come towards the end of the show, be very interested in getting your input as well. And I said, hopefully in later shows, what I'd like to be able to do is have some polls. We could take some polls and survey how ladies feel about it, especially the way you see guys doing it now. So again, brothers are wearing dreads and they're wearing the long hair and they got the full beards. Is that a look that you find appealing, that you find attractive? Is that something that you look for if you're not married or with somebody? Is that something you look for in a man, or is the guy who keeps it high and tight? Is that still something that you fancy? So be very curious about that. But certainly, Pete, we got about 10 minutes left in the show. So I guess any other directions that you want to go in, but I definitely think, again, this is fluid as far as different cultures, different standards, a standard for men, but this constant search for what is considered masculine, what looks the archetype of what people are looking to define in 2024 and beyond. Is it going to be the bearded look, or is this something that is going to run its course because of, as you said earlier, the maintenance and the care, especially if you try to grow it out? Are guys going to be willing and being committed to the care it takes in order to maintain a healthy, well-managed beard? Are the majority of men going to put that time in to make sure that takes place? So, as we start to wind down the show, you can sort of take it from there. Where do you see this going? Five years from now?
I don't think this is going
where are we going to be with this?
I think we're here for I'm going to stay here for a very, very, very long time. Same thing with the man bun. I think the man bun and beard look right now is the newest hot thing right now. I've done both, and you see me both. I never done the long hair with short beard. Maybe I'll try that this time. But anyway, my point is trying to get to is the beard hair. Like, if you never, guys, if you're going to learn anything from me tonight, if you never grown your beard out long, give it a shot. Just try it one time. Reach out to me. I'll give you the products. If I don't, I will send you the information, whatever the case is. But seriously, if you have never grown your beard out, do it. Do it one time. If I don't care if it's a full beard or even a goatee, aka the circle beard, they call it too. Whatever. If you want to do it, do it. Paul's going to do it this year. He promised me he's going to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to give up on you, bro, until you say yes.
Listen, I like the clean lifestyle. I just do. I feel cleaner. Now, again, I'm too old to care, but I used to shave my legs back in the day, right? And it's to the point where I don't even have hair on my legs anymore, because especially in the wintertime, I would wear these thermals or whatnot, and it would always irritate my legs for having hair on my legs. So I shaved it. I would use those, like the Nair, the depilatories, and it got to a point where the hair stopped growing. So I don't have much body hair, period. And I like the clean look. I just do. It just is. It's appealing to me. So and as far as the maintenance, like I said, I'd say maybe 10 minutes a day, shave, do the shave of the head every day and whatnot. It's easier. I save so much money. Yes, it is. Thank you. Objectivist, because I'm sure guys are looking at me kind of sideways or whatever. Like I said, I'm too old to care at this point. So no hair on my legs really. I keep myself, I keep my bits cleaned up. So yes, the manscaping and all that kind of stuff, I do all of that. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah,
I'll bring one thing up. Okay, two things. Manscaping, I do myself. The Manscaped lawnmower works great. Trust me, I cut myself way too many times down there to the point to get a shit out of me. So
absolutely.
That's thing.
Now that's new. Now that's a new trend, because again, 10 years ago, we didn't see too many guys doing that or would admit to doing it. But I certainly think that what's that?
Nobody would have admitted it.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying. But that's kind of out in the open now. That yes, men do their bits. And what I also found interesting. Do you know that Muslims, according to again tradition, Muslim men are required to shave their pubic hair. They have beards, but they shave their Muslim men. So you talk about a couple billion men, a billion men out there who shave for religious reasons. So again, it's not something that if you think it's just girly or it's I know one person said, "Oh, you're watching too much porn or something like that," or whatever. It's like, no, it says I just like the cleaner look. I just feel a lot better. And again, as far as maintenance wise, I saved so much money. So again, when I went to two grooming things that I drastically changed, that it's literally saved me thousands of dollars. One is going to the safety razor. In fact, I don't even use a dual edge. I use a single edge safety razor, right, which I love. And going bald, shaving, having clean shaved head. I've saved so much money from barbers and not having to deal with that, spending money on hair care products and do-rags, and I had the waves in my hair and brushing 1,000 strokes a day and all that kind of stuff. I just like I really do like the lifestyle. I have fun with it, certainly in these spaces and whatnot, but I do love the cleaner. $60. That's cheap. I mean, when I was last time I went to a barber, again, I knew him for years. He was still charging me $20 a week. So I'm spending $80 a week on haircuts. And I'm just saying, it's like, no, I bought one shaver. And, if anything, I keep it cleaned out or whatever. If the head goes, I just buy a replacement head if I got to put it on there. It's a much better, it's a much better option for me. And again, I don't have the George Jefferson look, having half my head bald and all the hair in the back and spots and all that kind of stuff. So I like it, clean and tight. And I plus the tip, then my teenage. Yeah, so absolutely. So a lot of guys are spending a lot of money on personal grooming. And again, especially if you're going to go the bearded route, you're definitely going to have to do it as well. Yeah, bodybuilding. Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to go on a stage, like that. So yeah. And I know the ladies, they're getting the electric, the laser treatments and stuff like that. So even the ladies, it's like they're preferring they're preferring the hairless. So
one more thing, and I'll get to what I was going to say before. So most men will grow their hairs up because they don't want to spend the $60, $70 anymore, and they're getting tired of it. But they're tired also paying the 20 cheapy haircuts. They want to pay for the nice experience. Also, I'm spending the money. I want to get something worth it. You know what I'm saying? So a few years back, I'm talking about.
Wow, $100 in California. Wow,
holy fucking shit! I hope at the top of the girls getting your haircut.
Jeez.
But no, seriously, they, a few years back, one of my buddies dared me to wax my chest.
Oh, wax it?
Wait. First of all, boss man, I do all due respect. Fuck you, Marines. First of all, because he fucking dared me, and when a Marine dares me, I'm gonna puff my chest. I'm like, I can fucking do this. $100. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not doing it for $100. 200. It went up to 500. I go, cash? He goes, yeah, let's do it. Because I gotta wax you. I'm like, I don't give a shit. But back then, I'm like, but when we went to the chest,
yeah.
You know how? Ever seen the 40-year version? He goes, not the nipple. Oh, that's what I fucking said. Not the nipple. Not the nipple. Not the fucking nipple. And he fucking ripped that shit. I thought he ripped my nipple off with it. I thought the nipple was flying on a wax paper hanging it at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that was the worst fucking experience. That's the first and the last time I will ever wax.
Yeah. Yeah, waxing. I did do that back in the day with the again with the legs initially, and I said never again. So I used, like I said, I used the neat, I used Nair, leave it on for a few and just rinse it off and whatnot. And again, I kept doing it, and the hair got thinner and thinner, and just kind of ultimately it just kind of died out. So I never.
A buddy of mine, he pissed off his wife really bad. Chin. Oh.
Not by the hairs of my chinny chin.
Wait. Here's so
ain't doing that.
His wife up really bad. I don't remember what it was about. So you know those wax strips you can get from the store and they're already waxed. You just put them on, and he's sleeping. He's more hairier than me, believe it or not. Yeah. He put it on his armpit, on his chest, all over his body. When he woke up, he goes, "Ha ha, payback, motherfucker." He was crying.
That's sadistic. I'm sorry, that's sadistic, man.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
That's great. No way.
Imagine your wife does that, dude. I think you'd be divorced pretty fast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is crazy. Nah, man. My wife doesn't even like getting her eyebrows waxed, let alone the chin or whatever. So, that's
imagine
tough.
your wife put wax strips all over you when you're sleeping.
Yeah, that conversation.
Never say another motherfucking word to me.
That wouldn't go very well. That'd be a payback. I would have had to do something pretty messed up. It's like, yeah, okay, I deserve that one. So
but when it comes off, that's the fun part for them because they.
Oh my.
No fucking thing when he's doing it. He's recording on the fucking. He's like flapping like a fish out of water, like the wrestlers you see when they get fucking super kicked or something. I'm like, seriously, that's not that bad, dude. It's like it's painful, but not that fucking painful. Like, you do it. Like I have done it actually.
No way.
But that's me again. I'm a little crazy, of course.
Yeah, indeed. But all right, so we're at the end of the show. So again, my final comments. Again, certainly, certainly, I acknowledge that men growing beards, not just beards, high type of bushy beards or whatnot. I'm seeing more and more of that, especially with black men who are unashamed to rock that look and wear it in a lot of different settings. As a sign of strength, as a sign of masculinity. So I get that. Again, I'm a little bit older, so I still like the clean shaven look, and I'll probably spend the rest of my life with that. One, I don't have hair to grow anyway. So again, the hair on my head, I was losing the battle up here. So again, I don't want to look like George Jefferson or Space Lee, Space Sprockets, or any of those guys who try to do the comb over or whatever. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do Executive Order 66 and just get rid of the whole thing. So I just maintained this lifestyle. I like looking and appearing young, and again, I think certainly from my career, I certainly think it's helped me. Certainly over the years, not to have that perception of age or whatnot, and so I try to use it to my advantage. In addition to but it's the whole program. It's not just how I look. It's my health. It's my diet. It's my training. It's all those things involved that you want to look, be as fit as you can be. Certainly for your age. Melania commenting again, no beard or well-groomed hair with a beard or a low cut. So again, everyone's gonna have their preference, but I'm still the ladies who are like, oh yeah, give me the hairy bear with the big beard that's down to the chin and all that, down to the neck and all that kind of stuff. I haven't met anyone in person. Now again, obviously these people, have women in their lives or whatnot who are attracted to that. But I've never met anybody in my life, any woman who said, yeah, give me that big old bushy beard. And when I'm kissing him, I can grab his beard and pull it in and kiss him and all that. I've never seen that. But again, I'm sure there's some ladies who rock with that. More power to you. But it's definitely something that like I said, it's a changing trend, and we'll see where this goes in a few years. But even at the end of the day, whether you have a beard or not, or hair on your head, or if you go totally hairless, again, I don't think that defines these days. I don't think that defines your masculinity. Ultimately, it's about your character, it's your work ethic, it's your discipline, it's your values and core beliefs. I think that define you as a man, and however you want to express yourself externally, I think ultimately that's on you. So I'll leave it there. But Pete, you can you can take us out.
Well, like I said, if you haven't grown your beard at least once in your life, just grow it out once. Try it. If you don't like it, shave it off. That's the worst case scenario. If your judge doesn't allow it, that's a whole different story. But if you haven't, do it once. Hey, we're in November, guys. No Shave November. It helps you promote a lot of things. Like bald cancer is a real thing, believe it or not. So that's why No Shave November is there. Except that we got shows all week on both channels. So check them out. Definitely check mine out. Spartan XQ Network. Check out the big guy, BMU. Hopefully no more earthquakes from him, please. But except that, that's it really for me. Paul?
Sounds good. Well, again, we thank you, everybody who decided to join us tonight. Catalia, thank you always for your support. Milani, thank you for joining us tonight. Braxton, the Snake Fiend, appreciate you. TIQS, also in the chat tonight. Jeff, TV, again, thank you for stopping through. Love hearing when you're on different panels or whatnot. Certainly appreciate your perspectives there. And as always, I got Boss Man in the chat who always keeps it real for us and supports us in the back. We really appreciate you and your experiences. I'm glad to know that there's other guys there who shave their legs and stuff too. So I feel better about that. But with that, again, you guys have a great week. We'll see you out these. And again, if you haven't, again, hit the like button, certainly before you leave the station, either here or jump over to the Sparta HQ Network and hit the like button there. It really helps us out. And consider dropping a Cash App or any kind of consideration to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Consider becoming a subscriber to the network, and just help this channel grow. 7 days of content that are provided in the space here, and we really want to make this the place where you can find basically a subject for anything. We do one-on-ones. You'll see me again probably on the one-on-one sports show on Wednesdays here on the BMU Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, great area 9:30 Sundays. So again, for all of you, again, enjoy your week. Be safe. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.
It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Need a yeehaw, you know how here for one night and we just wanna party. In a fast car, a Ferrari. It's a push start, I don't need a car key. It's out on Broadway, and it's gnarly. On a late night, but I'm not tardy. Right on time for the parties and Barbies. Strolling with a chunk of green like a golf swing. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Come and kiss me up, it's going down. Like a train with no brakes, I'm not slowing down. See us showing up, we're showing out. Better pack it in till they kick us out. I'm no nailing them, I'm a lunatic. It's no telling when I get loose a bit. Got my babe, my book.